Happy New Year, everybody. Rob Schiffmann here. Today I'm going to talk to you about a friend of mine who we lost in 2019. And that friend is Mr. Danny Aiello. Stick around. So I'm sitting at Shetler Studios on 54th Street in Manhattan, learning the music to a new musical by Robert Mitchell called Capone, about the life and times of Al Capone. And it will be starring the one and only Danny Aiello. I've been learning this music for a number of hours, and soon in will walk Danny. And soon in does walk Danny. And into my life walks a friend, a mentor, an idol, a teacher, and a champion. And I was thrilled to meet him. Danny Aiello, of course, from Purple Rose of Cairo, Do the Right Thing, The Godfather 2, Moonstruck, numerous films that stick with us forever, in large part because of Danny's performance. And Danny was quite the performer. Capone was a 2-hour monologue that Danny was essentially responsible for himself. It filled with songs that Danny did beautifully, beautiful songs. Danny brought a three-dimensionality to this performance, never performing it the same way twice. I watched him do it year after year. We did numerous readings, and it was always different, and it was always live and present. My job in the performance, of course, was to be one of 3 actors who functioned to sing the backup harmonies, as well as to do small mostly non-speaking roles with Danny. Danny was the star, and boy, did Danny deserve to be the star. On break, sometimes Danny would tell us about his career and people he'd worked with. He spoke to us about Spike Lee, who he called a friend and a real collaborator, or Woody Allen, a genius and a nice guy. He talked about the roles that he had, calling the Mia Farrow's husband in Purple Rose of Cairo. He said, "Boy, wasn't I a bastard in that film?" He had a great sense of humor and was just a lovely, lovely guy. I noticed about Danny that he was pretty humble as well. Sometimes he would doubt his own legitimacy as an actor, saying he didn't go to school for this stuff. Unlike, as he said, Bob and Al and those guys. But we would explain to him that Danny had a radiance and an energy and a presence that was magnetic, and you couldn't take your eyes off him. And his acting was you always felt as though he was in the moment, he was responding truthfully, and that's what we go for as performers, to feel that presence, and Danny had it naturally. I asked him one time to come see me in Broadway's Next Hit Musical. Didn't think he would do it. The next week he was there, and he came back numerous times. He brought his family, and he even called Lorne Michaels about me to say Lorne Michaels should send people to see me, which they did, thanks to Danny. He was a wonderful guy. He was a role model, always came in prepared, always willing to listen to others and get their ideas as well, but not unwilling to take charge and to keep the energy in the room alive. There were times we rehearsed for hours and hours and we were ready to go home, but because Danny wanted to do more, we gladly stayed just to be in his presence. And about Christmas of 2014, Danny was performing at the Triad Theater, where Broadway's Next Hit Musical performs. He would do an annual concert there with his band, singing covers and Christmas songs, and it was a delightful show. After the show, we got online to meet Danny and to say hi to him and congratulate him on a great show. We were online with other people. When I got up to the front, Danny asked me to sit down next to him. So I sat, and I waited. And Danny thanked all the folks that came in after me and sent them on their way. And I waited and waited until the last person had been thanked, sent on their way, and Danny sat down next to me. And he said to me, "Robert," he called me Robert sometimes. He said, "Robert, how was I?" And I said, "You were great, Danny. Because, Danny, you were great."